everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Odyssey with Yendi, brought to you by Grace, Singer, and Island Net Services.
I will say fry planting on Sunday morning. That's been when Lila walks in. You don't know this is Lila. I can't wear up for CVM. See tapping right here on CVM TV. Love and life.
Thanks so much for joining us for CVM News at noon. I am Curlin Brown. Lawmen in St. Elizabeth have charged a man in connection with the brutal killing of a woman at a nightclub in the parish in June. Charged with murder is 33-year-old Kenrick Troop, otherwise called Brown Man, a farmer of Cove Drive in Santa Cruz. Troop is accused of fatally stabbing 34-year-old Nikisha Francis Monfort, also known as Chocolate, during an altercation at a nightclub. Report from the Santa Cruz police of the incident occurred around 4 a.m. when a dispute developed between the two. During the confrontation, Francis Monfort was reportedly stabbed and struck in the head with a stool. Investigators say surveillance footage from the scene captured Troop hitting the woman in the head before stabbing her. A post-mortem later confirmed Francis Monfort died as a result of stab wounds to the torso and blunt force trauma to the head. Troop was taken into custody and was subsequently charged. Some sweeping changes have been announced for schools at both the primary and the secondary levels as part of renewed push by the government to improve student performance. The matter took center stage during the Education Transformation Oversight Committee's press conference. Amoy Harrod was there.
With just over a month left before school bells prepare to ring in a new academic year, classrooms aren't just reopening, they're being reimagined. The Education Ministry has announced some major changes as part of its plan to address learning challenges in the education system. Chief among them.
I'm happy that come this September, students who require academic assistance, as indicated by their Pathway 3 grouping, will do only 6 subjects in grade 7 instead of the multiple subjects some are currently undertaking.
It makes no sense to have a child go into high school, not able to read, and you give them all these subjects that they have to do when they're sitting there unable to read.
And as the students improve,
then they will, over time, as we deal with the literacy, the numeracy problems, then you can expose them to all of the beautiful subjects that are there.
In the meantime, there have been mounting reports in recent years that a significant number of primary school students are transitioning to high school without meeting the expected academic standards. That too is expected to change.
The practice of moving students from one grade to the next, irrespective of academic development, will be stopped. Students who are not at the requisite level will be placed on a pathway that allows them to remediate the learning challenges they are experiencing.
Now, this means that if student X, who's in grade 1, isn't reading or writing up to the grade 1 level by the end of the school year, that student will not be allowed to advance to grade 2, but instead repeat grade 1, a move that Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon believes will help attain a globally recognized reading and writing proficiency in schools. But she admits there may be mental repercussions.
And there will be instances where children may be asked to repeat a grade, and it's important that you work with those children because it can have a real impact on them, and parents have to also be vigilant. That's why the parenting is important. Look at your child. Understand if your child is struggling. Is there a change in their behavior?
The minister says dialogue has started with a number of schools and changes are already being made to the respective curricula. Amoy Harriet, CVM News.
And still on that subject of the days of students passing through the educational system while being incompetent in literacy reportedly coming to an end, speaking on CVM's lead story, Chairman of the Education Oversight Committee, Dr. Adrian Stokes, revealed plans are being put in place to repeat students if they perform significantly below the set standard for their grade level.
The students who are experiencing challenges will go through an assessment process that will allow the school, the ministry to uncover the needs of that child. So what we're seeing is a holistic approach. We're seeing the building blocks being put in place, and ultimately we are going to see an improvement in the standards.
And the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Dr. Kassan Troop, also chimed in on CVM's lead story to express her views on the matter.
We have 245 schools that we are hand-holding this year, George. In fact, we started in this year that we are closing out. These are the students who are genuinely or predominantly weaker than the other students, and so will need some additional support. In giving them that support, we have to reduce the workload. It makes no sense that they are given all the subject areas as students in Pathway 1 who are competent.
Through SCJ Holdings Limited's Land Tenure Regularization Initiative, the Minister of Agriculture, Floyd Green, is seeking to formalize land access for farmers who have been working on lands for years without security or support. He says the initiative targets approximately 1,500 acres of land and aims to benefit over 250 individuals.
One of the main issues that was raised time and time again was the issue of land. Access to land and land tenureship. And was the challenge that the farmers were having regularizing themselves so that they could invest more and do what they love. And I remember I left that meeting and I said to the farmers, I'm going to work with the SCJH to regularize the lands in this area.
Warnings continue for motorcyclists to stop the dangerous and illegal habit of riding without mirrors or turning them inward. According to the police, this reckless behavior is contributing to a growing number of fatal crashes on our roads. More from Akin Oret.
They zip through traffic with speed and precision, but sometimes with deadly consequences. A worrying trend among Jamaican motorcyclists has caught the attention of the police. The risky practice of riding with mirrors removed or turned inward just to squeeze through traffic has now been linked to a startling number of fatal collisions. The warning comes from Assistant Commissioner of Police Dr. Gary Mackenzie, who says it's unlawful to operate a motorcycle without mirrors, and the habit severely limits riders' visibility. One biker, Ryan Reed, shared riding without mirrors is a very dangerous risk.
Without the mirror, to be honest, it's hard to see the end. And it's easier to navigate through traffic. I think that's the reason why they turn it in, but it can be fatal.
He also says for him, riding with his mirrors is priority.
I take it seriously because that's your life, you know. You're actually playing with your life when you do that. So I take it very seriously. As you can see, I have on my gears. So I take it seriously.
Data from the Island Traffic Authority revealed that 60 motorcyclists have suffered fatalities since 2025. The police are renewing their appeal for motorcyclists to keep their safety gear visible and functional, emphasizing that a simple mirror could mean the difference between a near miss and a fatality. Akeem Oret, CVM News.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness has signed a landmark US $1 billion contract with Nexus Luxury Collection for the development of the long-anticipated Harmony Cove Resort in Trelawney. The project is expected to significantly boost Jamaica's tourism sector, create jobs and transform the northern coastline into a premier luxury destination. Carla Ramdeen has more.
Your proponents, the Harmony Cove will be the most exclusive colony that the Caribbean has ever known.
It has been 20 years in the making, since first announced by former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson. Now, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the project will benefit all Jamaicans. Holness explains the government has been fiscally prudent in arriving at a decision to secure the project.
Our partners, Nexus, they actually put in money and purchase additional lands to bring this up to over 2,000 acres of land, flat land that could give the project much more viability. There were costs involved to keep this project going. They bore some of that.
Managing partner for Nexus Luxury Collection, Christopher Anand, says the country is in a much better fiscal place to begin the project. Anand explains the company will offer an initial public offering IPO after the project is constructed to prioritize Jamaicans who want to buy shares in Harmony Cove. He explains they want their best customers and shareholders to be Jamaicans.
So what we will be doing is creating a loyalty program that if you're a shareholder in Harmony Cove, and again, it could be as little as $1,000 this isn't intended to price people out. This isn't like, oh, you've got to own $1 million worth of shares to play. It could be as low as $1,000. You will get coupons to be able to use Harmony Cove.
Harmony Cove Resorts will feature a fine-grained mix of resource uses, including single-family houses, hotels, shops, golf, spas, gaming venues, conference facilities, a water park, music venues, and recording studios.
Harmony Cove will have a T-squared. The other thing we announced an acquisition about 2 months ago, the most exclusive private children's club in the world based in London. It's called Purple Dragon. It will be coming to Harmony Cove.
Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
The National Commercial Bank, NCB, has launched an innovative payment solution designed to help businesses grow. The NCB EPO's tap-on-phone technology allows merchants to turn their mobile devices into payment terminals by simply downloading the NCB EPO's app from the Play Store. Product Development Officer in the Payments Division, Andrew Thowell, says the new solution will allow businesses to evolve how they receive payments.
We have major enterprises as well, so it's not just the small and medium enterprises. Big enterprises with, let's say they have delivery persons and so forth, they can use the product as well. So the uptake is great. We have over 3,000 customers now. Wow. Processing over 40,000 transactions.
Stay with us. We'll continue with the CVM News at noon right after this with our interview segment. You don't want to miss it.
It was rough. Every time the rain fall, the whole place wet up. I have to put the kids' them book in a bag until the place dry out. Ah boy, I couldn't afford a new roof. Then one day, Ross tell me about a grant I can get through the government. So I sent a letter to the ministry telling them wagwan. The officers came, them do them inspection where I was able to go to the hardware store, get the supply so my roof could have been fixed. I don't think I ever see my kids them smile so much yet. That means everything to me. The Ministry of Economic, Growth and Job Creation make my life better.
Hey Joe, what's up?
I really think you should look into adding IslandNet's unlimited internet as a reliable backup for your home and office. We can come over and we'll talk more.
How fast can you get?
That fast.
But how fast is Islandness broadband? Fast enough people business fast?
Nope.
Fast enough prayer fast?
Nope.
How about fiber fast?
But not that kind of fiber.
They use fast broadband to provide reliability.
Experience the lightning fast wireless broadband and reliable business services.
Join us this week on Tourism One-on-One as we examine the growth of Chocolate Dreams Limited and how it has benefited from various initiatives by the Tourism Enhancement Fund through its Tourism Linkages Network.
Attention registered voters! Remember to collect your renewed voter ID card before the upcoming general election. If you registered to vote in 2016 or after and did not get your new ID card, it may have been automatically renewed. Simply visit your EOJ constituency office to collect your voter ID card. Contact the Electoral Office of Jamaica at 888-991-VOTE or 922-0425-9 for more information.
The time by Subaru is 12:15.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Now, as we await the announcement of a date for the general elections, all eyes are on the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, the ECJ, which plays a critical role in ensuring Jamaicans can head to the polls with ease. Preparations would have already shifted from voter registration to election day logistics. And so, joining us to discuss just how ready we are as a country and be reminded what voters can expect is the Director of Elections at the ECJ, Glaspole Brown. Thanks so much for joining us, Mr. Brown.
Good afternoon.
Great. So even before a date, a common sentiment among Jamaicans is the election can be called any day. Now, should tomorrow be that day, are you ready?
Well, we have started our preparation. There are some activities that we have completed, those activities that can be done before the announcement. Certainly in terms of recruiting our workers, we're seeking to engage in excess of 30,000 persons to assist us as presiding officers, sport clerks, reserves, supervisors, etc. If you add what is known as the door agent, those represent the candidates, we're looking in excess of 50,000 persons on the day itself in terms of the operation. So we are fairly advanced with that. We have identified our EDWs, we have trained them. There's a few areas that need to be completed. We anticipate that will be done before the end of the month. However, if election is called tomorrow, there are some activities that cannot start until the announcement, certainly in terms of the ballot printing. So you're talking about nomination day. You won't get that information of the candidates. But those activities that are yet to be started will await the announcement on nomination day. But in the main, in terms of we are where we want to be in terms of our preparation. And we're pretty advanced in that aspect of it.
Just picking your brain there. So, you normally have a lot of election day workers. You touched on workers, and you normally have a large number of teachers. I must ask you, has teacher migration affected the process of sourcing your election day workers at this time?
To a certain extent, but I can't put any figure on that aspect of it. But suffice to say, though, there's still amounts of interest from other persons to be a part of the process. Certainly, as in excess of quite a number of persons sought to apply to send in the application to us in terms of working on the day. So in terms of whether or not the migration of teachers, I can't quantify that.
I must ask, there's always an issue with payments. We're now nearing another election day period. Can we safely say the last set of workers were paid?
Yes, we have completed those persons' payment to those persons who worked from last year, February. We anticipate we're going to do a much better job of it this time. There are certain changes that we have put in place to let the process move a little bit smoother than what happened in February last year.
I think this government has expressed a desire to explore the introduction of an electronic voting system. Would this be a legislation the ECJ would support?
It's something that's always under discussion. To a certain extent, there's some amount of electronic process that is involved in some constituencies. We currently use what is known as the electronic voter identification system. Given the costs and etc., it is limited. I will be using it certainly in the upcoming election in only 7 constituencies, and it's an improved system compared to what we have used in the past. So it continues to be a part of the discussion at the commission, certainly in terms of how do we increase the use of the technology in more in the electoral process, certainly in terms of other constituencies. So it's under discussion. We continue to discuss it. We continue to explore how best or how the country could be able to afford it for wider use.
Could the use of electronic possibly improve our voter turnout, you think?
It's a possibility.